Crochet Wearables, where I am crocheting on my oversized sweater by Olga. Thought you might just want to join me for a little bit of crocheting and a tiny bit of chat. This video, it's not really much of an update because I am still working on my cardigan. You may have seen the short that I did where I wound this ball of yarn with my new Swift and ball winder. I've used my ball winder. Previously, I was using my chair as the Swift, and so decided to put the Swift up, try it out. I don't know why I waited so long. I still have this a little bit left, and so yeah, so working on it, but thought I would chat about the next project that I am thinking about doing as I crochet. So hopefully you have something you are working on and enjoying this day, something to drink. I love sparkling water. So a few years back, even before my husband and I started keto, I decided to get rid of or stop drinking carbonated drinks, mostly because of the food coloring and artificial flavors and things like that that are in it. But I love the fizz. And so while we were living in South Africa, you could get some really amazing sparkling water. Before we left for the US, really the only thing available was Perrier and Evian or something like that. I think that was it. And so when I started drinking water, more water, because I took away the carbonated drinks, the flavored ones, I just needed to substitute and get my fizz kick. And so South Africa, as I said, had some really good, they call it fizzy water or sparkling water that I could drink. And then eventually, when we would visit the States, my parents had found LaCroix, and so that was became a favorite. They don't have it in South Africa, but as I said, I was still able to get good sparkling water in South Africa. And so when we would visit the US, then I became able to get sparkling water in the US, mainly LaCroix. I think that was the first one, or the first one I'd ever heard of. And now there are so many others, and they are still really good when you're on a low carb, no sugar lifestyle. I don't say diet, because we've been doing this for over 7 years now, and maybe almost 8 years. And so, so I love to get the flavors, and they fit in with the way that we eat, and love all the different. I don't really have a brand, not sponsored by any brand, don't have a brand that I particularly only drink. I've tried them all, and I was at the grocery store, and they had this brand on sale, which is Polar. And so I think it was, it was on sale, and then you got another $1 off if you bought 5. Well, we drink it all the time. I drink it all the time. And so it was worth trying this new brand. I don't know. Well, I think I've tried 1 or 2 Polars at my parents', but as I said, we drink pretty much any of the brands. We just really look at the flavors. And this one is pink, apple, and lemon, and I love it. I love it. I've always liked the pink apple fruit, or apple apples, the pink apple apples. And so, yeah, so I really like this flavor a lot. But there's a lot of other ones that I like as well. One of the brands has a blackberry lemonade. Anyway, it's really good too. So, yeah, so that's what I've had my coffee for the morning. And so now I am on to my water, my daily water intake. And my doctor asked me, said, so when we arrived, I'll back up a little bit. When we arrived, back to the U.S., we had doctors in in South Africa, but not in the States. And so I had to find a doctor. So my husband and I went to one that was recommended near us and did all the preliminary introduction kind of things. And so he asked me if I drank a lot of water, and I was like, well, I don't drink just plain water very much, but I do like my sparkling. He said, I don't care as long as it's water. So yeah, I don't know how well the fizz sits on my stomach, but so far I haven't seemed to mind it. Anyway, all that to say, hope you have something good that you are enjoying drinking and a project to be working on. And I am, working my way back and forth, trying to get the front side of my sweater completed so that I can sew up the seams and then start putting the sleeves on. Really still love the way these two yarns, so my it is superwash merino and alpaca blend, and then this is alpaca silk blend. I think it's just alpaca and silk. But anyway, I love how the blue and the gray are really working up into a pretty fabric with lots of halo, lots of fluff. And so we'll see. I have a tendency to be sensitive to itch, I guess, to fibers that can be itchy, like wool. I do not wear mohair. That's the word. We were in Lesotho. It was so cool. We were in Lesotho, and they have lots of mohair goats, and they keep them separate from their regular goat hair and sheep. But yeah, Lesotho is the country that's completely surrounded by South Africa. It is one of the two mountain kingdoms that are touching South Africa, and they do a lot of wool production, and they have mohair goats there. And you can really see the wiriness of their hair. Very interesting and very fun to see those cute little goats. And but yeah, I just saying mohair makes me itch, and so I thought I would try alpaca and see how that goes. So at the end of my row, when I'm doing half double crochets in the back loop, I just put a stitch marker at the end to make sure that I am not losing my stitch count. It is good to count stitches, but I don't want to have to count every single row. But I do count maybe every 4 to 5 rows just to make sure I'm staying on track. But I always mark the first and last stitch of my rows when I do that. And I do that when I love to do single crochet in the back loop for like hat brims. I love that much better. I like the way it turns out much better than front post, back post crochet. And so for hat brims, or for the ribbing around the edges of a sweater or something like that, cardigan. That's my favorite way to do it. It takes a lot of time, gotta have patience, but my favorite way to do it. So, anyway, oh, my light just went out. That means my battery that is in my light is burnt out and I need to recharge it. But anyway, I wanted to talk to you about, or with you about, my next project when I get this one completed, which I have just a few more rows till I am done with the front panel. And thankfully I have short arms, and so it shouldn't take long to do the arms on my sleeves. But anyway, I don't know why I didn't think of this before, but Jeanne at On the Hook Crochet. She is like the queen of crochet wearables. In fact, her slogan is wearable crochet style. That is her slogan, I guess you would call it. And I have watched her since I started watching YouTube. Not since I started crocheting, but since I've started watching YouTube. I started watching her channel. I do have a couple of patterns that I bought from her. I have yet to try them out, but I love seeing her videos and all the designs that she has created, and why I have not done one of her patterns in my Boujee Crochet Wearable series, I don't know. And I want that to be my next wearable that I am going to do. So that's, yeah, where I'm going, what I'm thinking, what I'm planning. As I said, I purchased a couple of patterns from her already, and I might choose one of those, but would love to know if you have seen her channel. Jeanne, I think it's Jeanne. Yeah. Anyway, if you've seen her channel, if you have tried any of her patterns, or if you have seen a pattern that you haven't tried but you're wanting to try, I'm open to suggestions. You can put them down in the comment box below. And yeah, that is kind of what I am planning for the next crochet wearable that I do on this channel. Also, if you have yarn suggestions, any yarns that you have tried, that you have seen, that you think might make a great Boujee Crochet Wearable, let me know that too in the comments below. I love doing the research for patterns that are out there. I've looked on Ravelry, I've looked on YouTube, and so yeah, I'm open. So let me know if there is anything by Jeanne at On the Hook Crochet. I keep calling her both names. I think I'm going to have to go look that up and get it right. You can correct me in the comments below too. Now that I think about it, I think her name is Jeanne at On the Hook Crochet. Trying to think when I just watched her yesterday. But yeah, so that is my plans when I am done with Olga Poltava's oversized sweater. Then my next crochet wearable will be from On the Hook Crochet, and looking forward to doing that, and looking forward to seeing what you might suggest as patterns. I think one of the patterns I have is the Golden Cross top or pullover or something like that. It is, she's used gold colored yarn for it, and it makes the cross stitch through the design, something like that. It is an open design, so you'd have to wear like a camisole or a strappy top underneath, which I do a lot, and I don't mind that at all. It's really nice to wear that in the summertime for me, because if I'm warm, I just have a strappy top, and then if I go somewhere where the air conditioning in the summer is blaring, then I can put that open weave top, or it's just enough open that it does let the cooler air breeze in, even on warm or hot summer days. So anyway, I don't mind wearing strappy tops at all, or camisoles. Mine are more the t-shirt style cotton strappy top that you buy, or I buy at Walmart. Those are my favorite to wear underneath, and so I get quite a few of those. So yeah, so I've done 2 rows since I've talked. It is slow going when I've got a newly wound skein pulling from the center, especially with this fluff and the halo that is on this alpaca. It snags, and I don't want to break it because it is such a thin yarn. And I do want to make sure that as I am crocheting, I am using a K-hook, a 6.5 millimeter hook. And so it is quite big for this thin yarn, because the other is fingering weight and the other is like a lace weight, the alpaca. And I want to make sure as I go through the back loop that I'm actually picking up both colors to go through in the loop, and also as I yarn over, that I'm not missing any. So it is definitely slow going, but once I get in the rhythm, then it's not terrible. And it's only, this part is only 16 rows, and I have done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm on my 8th one. So I'm almost halfway to finishing up the shoulder section, the last shoulder section, and then I'll be able to sew or I might actually crochet, like slip stitch the seams together. And I will probably do it with both, at least one side, with both strands of the yarn, so that I don't have to cut my yarn. That once I get down to the top or bottom, whichever side I finish for my 16th row, then I'll just go straight to seaming up that side, and without cutting the yarn. I just think that's so much nicer, so many less ends to weave in. And so yeah, excited, or we'll do it that way, but I am excited to get this finished. We are taking a trip in April to Nepal. It is a mission trip, but I don't remember if I've said or not, my husband has become the sending pastor at a church in the area. And so he is responsible for missions, local, national, and international. And we have a couple that are looking to going overseas, and we are actually making the trip with them. My husband wants to meet who they possibly are working with, and I'm going to support the wife as they make the decision, really navigate through God's call on their life, and particularly in her life, and as a mom with young kids, what that's going to look like, and just kind of be there to support her. So we're doing that, and and I got to talking, and I kept doing half double crochet, and I'm supposed to end for the ribbing section with single crochet. So I'm going to frog back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Anyway, I am thinking that if I can get this done, even though we're going in April, it may still be cold in Nepal. It is where Mount Everest is, and I'm pretty sure we're not going to be that high in elevation. Obviously, we're not climbing Mount Everest, but even in some of the towns right around there, I don't think we'll be in the big city, so I don't think we'll be that high in elevation. But I am assuming that in April that it can still be pretty cool. So I am hoping to be able to get this done so I can take it. I am also knitting my first sweater, and it uses bulky weight yarn, and I am just using plain acrylic yarn, so it's going to end up quite warm, and that, if I can get it done, might be a good sweater to take as well to Nepal. So we will see how that goes, but look forward definitely to having this one done and my first knitted sweater. I forgot to do it in the back loop, so I had to frog that first stitch out. There you go, when I turn the corner. All right, well, that is pretty much it. Thank you for joining me and seeing how slowly I am working through this Boujee Crochet Wearable, the oversized sweater by Olga Poltava. You can check her channel out. I always link it while I am working on the sweater. While it is one of my Boujee Crochet Wearables, I always link it in the description box below. But check out her channel. She's got some really pretty other designs as well. So yeah, just a reminder, let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite pattern from Jeanne at On the Hook Crochet, if you've tried one out, if maybe like me, you've purchased one but haven't made it yet. I know it was fun to join in with K&K Crochet and the Hexie Cardi Party. It's always fun when people are making something along with you, giving you that little nudge to get the project done. So maybe you have a pattern by Jeanne that you haven't tried, that maybe you need a little nudge, would like to join me or me join you, and as one of the next Boujee Crochet Wearables. So anyway, thank you for joining me and for this little chat, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and we'll see you for next week's update on this wearable. I'm hoping to have the side seamed and being on the arms by next week. Have a great day. Bye-bye, y'all.